morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting game of girls high school varsity volleyball here on CPHS 6. Tonight's matchup, the Port Huron High Big Reds take on the visiting Warren Mott Marauders. Just about to get underway now, as Big Reds are first to serve with Peyton Frazier, the freshman. Carl Stafford's here for CPHS 6. Actually going over the last checks with the officials tonight. Handed out the ball a little quickly tonight. Now their check-in should be giving them signal to serve anytime, and here we go. Starting off again with Peyton Frazier. Frazier with the serve. Otters struggling to get this one over, and that one will go out of bounds. First points for the Big Reds. Lofty serve, a lot of time for Warren Mott to set this one up. They'll set it over. Right. Harville, and then eventually Goodwin. The Marauders send that one long, and back-to-back points. Start game number 1 for the Big Reds. Again, this is best out of 5 format. Rally scoring means a point on every single serve. Games are up to 25, fifth game if needed is up to 15. All games win by 2. Our first point for the Marauders. They'll send Laura Pryor back to serve. Well, only 2 seniors on the team. That one hit by Sabrina Wright. And Harville. Far side, powered that one down and out of bounds. Nice effort. But a little off the mark, elevating to get that one. It was Kozma. Or scratch that, Taylor. The Big Reds now with a 3-1 lead. Harville back to serve. Striking from the back row. That one was probably going out. Big Reds are going to struggle to get that one. And it will sail long. That one definitely looked like it was going to be played a bit long. Big Reds played it, tried to salvage it. Now serving is Williams. It's that, again, Towers going to have to, or Warren Mott's going to have to strike that one back. They send it over. Into the net, tough strike from the back row. And back to Sabrina Wright. Nice low serve. Popped it up, played at the net by Gregasevich. Gregasevich going to go for the kill here. Partially blocked. Warren Mott in control. They'll set this one over. Falling over and in the net and tried to dig it out of there was Trombley. As Gregasevich had a off-balance set on that almost made it over the net. Big Reds still lead 4-3 as Jubera now serving. Played by Wright and Harville. Gregasevich tries to send that one and sends it to the back of the gym floor. A little bit too much on that one. We're all tied up at 4 apiece. A hard serve played by Goodwin. And once again, striking a little bit away from the net, and not like Gregasevich on the one before. Too much on it, and sailing well long. Rivera, again, another line drive serve. Gregasevich, that one's deflected by Warren Mott at the net. He eventually gets a strike on it. That was Halaba. That one shot down by Goodwin, trying to keep it alive as the Marauders. They had that one deflected at the net, but eventually will fall down for a point for the Big Reds. All tied at 5 apiece now as Goodwin gets set to serve. As Chapman sums in the front row. She got 2 freshmen on that front row right now. Tells you what kind of team we're going to have in the future. Setting up one of them was Goodwin there. Setting up Trombley. Savage tried to get it over to Chapman. Play the safe route to get it over. Up the far side, and that was tipped by the Big Reds at the net. Nice play by Hullaba for Warren Mott. They now take the lead 6-5. Cosmo will serve. Nice set by Goodwin. A little bit away from that tough strike for Trombley as that one sails long. And some sideline advice from Coach Megan Mitchell. Now she's got to finish the arm swing. Chapman goes up to play that one and out of bounds. It's deflected at the net, then came straight up and fell down out of bounds. So Fabra made it over now with a 8-5 lead. Great play by Harville to get to that one. Trombley keeps it alive with the net. Once again set up far side for Hullaba. And that sails long. Big Reds will stop the run. Warren Mott leading 8-6 as Miranda Dorr will serve. Nice serve, has Marauder scrambling and unable to do anything with it after initially played by Fleming. So again from Dorr. Goodwin was calling out, but luckily they probably didn't listen. Nice set over by Chapman. Nice touch play at the net. And all tied up at 8 apiece as Miranda Dorr continues to serve. Dorr, one of the few seniors on this Big Red team. Both of these pretty young teams. Played by Wright. Now Goodwin. Harville tried to hook it down in the corner. Just missed wide. And a point back for the Marauders. They again take the lead 9-8. I'll bring up Allie Fleming to serve. Right to Goodwin. Near side for Chapman. Again, put some touch on it this time. Had the defense at the net. Decided to go over them. Nice little touch play at the net by Kelsey Chapman, a sophomore. Trombley serving, all tied at 9. Nice set of play by the Marauders to the far side. Sail just a bit long for Tatiana Williams. A little off balance. Chapman gets a set over. And once again, missed hit and set wide by Nicole Hullaba. One they're trying to feed on that far side. Again, Trombley serving with 11-9 lead. And poked over up the middle and didn't get enough on it was Monroe. And played right into the net. Another point for the Big Reds. And starting to give himself a little bit of cushion here in game number 1, 12-9. And set the far side this time. And use a drop against the Big Reds. Well played by Williams. While the Big Reds looking at the net. Alba with the serve. The Reds are going to strike it away from the net. Dorr does, and beautiful strike from the back row. Able to actually get that one down. Warren Mott thought that was going to be nowhere close. So a nice strike by Dorr. Gives the Big Reds back the serve. And we'll go to who started us off, Peyton Frazier. 13-10, Big Reds lead. Nice short serve and a great play to get to that one. That one out of bounds. And Richard Fleming that got to that serve. Pryor coming in to serve, down by 2. Dorr, Harville. Set right play for Ahrens. That one powered down. Nice strike at the net, Mariah Taylor. Youngest player on the Marauders team, the sophomore. Looked really good in warm-ups. Playing the net a lot. Now the Marauders are within 1. Goodwin goes up there and clearly struck into the net, so net violation is going to be a point for the Marauders. All tied at 13 now. Goodwin will strike it over. That's set by Taylor, but that miscommunication cost the Marauders, and serve and lead will go back to the Big Reds. As Gregorsevich will sub in. Harville back to serve. Big Reds lead 14-13, game 1. Again, Port Huron Big Reds. Warren Mott Marauders. This time going up with touch was Taylor. Big Reds ready for it this time. And now the power. And nice strike to the back row. Peyton Frazier was there, but it would have been a tough dig. Nice strike at the net by Mariah Taylor. That makes it all tied at 14 as you see the score there. Williams, Wright got down and actually got that one. Gregorsevich will set it over. Great play by Wright, keeping that serve alive. Gregorsevich is there for the short ball. Goodwin's going to strike this one over. And played and miss hit by Williams. Not sure if she almost wanted to pull away and not hit that one. Made some contact and lead back to the Big Reds, 15-14. Sabrina Wright serving. That serve is long. So once again, trading points back and forth. As we're all tied up at 15. Jabera will serve. Nice set by Harville, sets up Trombley. Far side, nice dig by Sabrina Wright. Gregorsevich tries to set that one over. Good recovery. Warren Mott got strike once again from the back row by, away from the net anyway, by Goodwin. Nice sustained rally here. Gregorsevich pops this one up. Let's see if Marauders take time to capitalize on it. That one touched at the net. It eventually trickled over. Nice play at the net by Loretta Kozma. I believe it was Goodwin. Got a piece of it at the net. Jabara now serving with the lead. 16-15. As Goodwin sends that one long. Line drive serve played by Wright. And I don't know, that one might have gone long. It had a lot of speed on it. Looking like it might be, man, I don't know if Wright had to play that one to even get out of the way of it. Goodwin eventually punched it over. Gregorsevich set over, scrambling a little bit. Both teams now, Harville. Goodwin's gonna have to strike. And a little bit of a broken play for both teams, and eventually ends up with a ball in the net against the Big Reds, and be a point for the Marauders, who now lead 18-15. And we'll have a timeout for Port Huron, so first timeout of tonight's matchup. Let's see the score there, 18-15, getting closer. Again, these games up to 25, win by 2. And that's really one of the bigger leads we've seen today. Both teams Like we said, really trading points back and forth. Coach Casey McClinton there for the Marauders. You see the fans coming out for tonight's matchup. While we got a second, we'd like to remind our viewers you can get a copy of this or any other program CPHS 6 tapes for a small fee by calling 984-6621. Again, that's 984-6621. So the Big Reds have broken their huddle. Still waiting on the Marauders. Taking the court back now, they will be their serve. It will be to Jabera. Team setting it up. Just having to set it over, not really able to get much going offensively. Trombley, though, set that a little too... Mott set that a little too far. And that one sails long. Tough strike by Wright. Both teams kind of playing it really kind of safe there, really, until that spike. Another line drive serve. Trying to paint that back corner. Great play to keep that alive by the Marauders. There's Jabera, server. Goodwin plays that one over. It's a little help from the net. And Marauders go up and try to punch that one over, and that one is wide. Nicole Holliba. She's played well at the net. We'll have Goodwin back to serve, trying to erase the three-point deficit. That kind of pops straight up. Plenty of time for the Big Reds to set up. Dragicevic with a set, tries to drop it, and it works beautifully. Fleming tried to get that down to the floor to get the dig on that. Right, pops this one up. Set by Goodwin, gets it up to Chapman. Nice set. Deflected at the net. Marauders still scrambling. Goodwin trying to set in the back corner. Picked a beautiful spot. Jabera was able to get to it, but no one else around. Great effort to even get to that ball. As Goodwin picked a perfect spot on the court. Deflected at the net by Trombley. This time set up and ball right over the net, and Chapman went up for it. So did the Marauders, and the best of that exchange was Kozma. Tough play for the Big Reds. And now Marauders leading 20-18. Chapman, good win, then Trombley tries to hit that corner. Marauders keep it alive, but are scrambling. Plenty of time for the Big Reds to set up once again. To Chapman, and that one sails long. 21-18. Marauders lead. Kozma serving. Got a whistle here, and we're at a two-hit violation. That's good. We're trying to fake out the Marauders by setting that one behind her. Once again set to Chapman and sent long. The Reds really hurting themselves with mistakes right now, and Chapman will get subbed out for Jefferson. Hopefully just trying to get her out of that rut that she kind of got in there. That one entered the net and tough to get it out of there. And now 1 point away. Warren Mott is from taking game number 1. Score is 24-18. Nice serve by Kozma. serving run anyway. Big Red's trying to keep it alive. Got to go on a rally. It's going to be up for good win to strike, and that she sent that one just a little bit long, so that will do it for game number 1. The Marauders win 25-18. We'll be back for game 2 in just a moment. You're on CBHS 6. Back now with game 2 of tonight's matchup between the Port Huron High Big Reds and the Warren Mott Marauders, and got to see what Megan Mitchell and the Big Reds are going to do after suffering a loss in game 1. Again, 25-18. I think that's got to be a pretty upsetting loss for the Big Reds, as really a lot of unforced errors in game 1, and we start off game 2 with another one. Team definitely that it's definitely a team that the Big Reds can play with. Smart move to let that one go long. There was quite a few serves also in game 1 that Big Reds probably should have let go. Some line drive ones, and all tied up at 1. Trying to get on a roll here in game number 2. And we'll have Harville serving. As we wait the officials to signal. But the Big Reds actually playing pretty well, just not striking the ball all that well. And nice play there, Aaron's. Tough play for the Marauders. As there's Benet. Got a hand on that one. Unable to really do anything with it. Another miss hit off the serve. Gonna be a tough play from Marauders. Keep it alive. They do. Plenty of time for Big Reds to set it up. Coming up, Gregosevich, and we're gonna get a violation and a point for the Big Reds. They now lead 3-1. A lot of points in game 1. We saw the Marauders just, that one deflected at the net, will land out of bounds. Or they're going to say it was. They talked about it for a second, talked to the official that they have on the line. Said it was deflected by the Marauders, so will be a Big Red point. Now 4-1. But back to game 1. A lot of points really just being set over by the Marauders, not setting a ton of kills at the net, and just really a lot of errors being forced by the Big Reds, just trying to make something happen when the Marauders just trying to keep the volley going. Taylor sends that one long. Now the Big Reds off to a 5-1 lead. And Harville will continue to serve. I think if the Big Reds cut down on those mistakes, they can be right there in this matchup. Definitely are talented enough. You see the score 5-2 now. Marauders just scoring. So they'll take back the serve, and that's Laura Pryor. That one possibly on the sideline. Don't see that too often with the serves. Nice dig, keep it alive. Gregosevich, and Marauders got in front of it at the net, but took it down with them. One up to get that one was Taylor and Williams. Gregosevich powers it over. That serve long. And the air will send the ball back to Warren Mott. So Williams with the serve. Set up by Harville. Going to be a strike away from the net. Nice strike by Sabrina Wright. Pokes that one forward. Actually made it go over. Was Frazier. Good win. And again, deflected at the net. And coming down on the Marauders' side. Another point for the Big Reds. 7-3. Big Red's kind of picking and choosing their battles now. And really, in terms of setting up plays, the Big Reds have been the far superior team. That one struck down hard, and it's been a very tough set for Harville. So a point for the Marauders, and Jabara will serve. So talking at the scorers table. Oh, we have a delay right now. I think they're just trying to keep the official stats down there, but either way, stoppage in play. As we await again, the Big Reds up 7-4 here in game number 2. Losing game number 1, 25-18, looking strong here in the second game. Looking to rebound well anyway. So correcting the stats or the substitutions or something. While we're straightening that out, we'd like to remind our viewers Friday's request day at Channel 6. Call in to request your favorite CPHS 6 programs to air between 4 and 8. The number for that is 984-6621. Again, that's 984-6621. Our archives go back quite a ways. They'd be surprised to see what we have back in the vault back there. So both teams enjoying a little free time. Saw some huddles out on the court, and there we see Kelsey Chapman. Got pulled out early in game 1, was struggling a little bit, looking stronger already here in game number 2. And it looks like we now have this signal back to a lot of the game. At least the officials are talking. And we're gonna get this one back underway. Or at least thought so. Having one of the Warren Mott players communicating something between the officials, but now we got the official okay, back underway. Rivera serve off the net, played by Chapman, and set up to Chapman, and that one probably just jinxed her there, that one into the net. And the Marauders bring it back within 2. Big Reds still lead 7-5. Bounce off the Raptors, tough to play. The Big Red bench was yelling out. Played it anyway. Big Reds do the best they can to recover. Went up to block out and deflected at the net. And then a tough play for Goodwin to handle that one, and another point for the Marauders. Rivera trying to tie this one up at 7 apiece. Up to Chapman, sets it over this time. Play for Hullabah, and that's going to be a double hit violation anyway, trying to play the net. Came down, struck it twice, Gregosevich. As they try to get the ball back in from stands up here. So all tied at 7 now here in game number 2. And beautiful time to drop a serve short, and that's exactly what they did. Nice serve, Jabara. As she now gives the Marauders the lead, 8-7. Miscommunication, and able to keep it alive. I'm not sure if it's going to land in bounds. Miscommunication between Chapman and Harville. And Goodwin somehow got it over, but fortunately landing out of bounds. And Big Reds once again looking a little off the mark. Set up once again for Chapman at the net. Marauders there at the net, but bring it down with them and unable to recover. And points for the Big Reds, and hopefully swing momentum back their way as they now have Dorr coming in to serve. Marauders struggling. That one never made it over the net. Nice serve by Dorr. All tied up at 9 apiece. Nice low serve. Again, the Marauders struggling to do too much with it. Big Reds plenty of time. Once again for Chapman. And struggles kind of continue. Another one sent long. Striking that ball away from that net. Not the easiest shot in the world. Big Red's definitely struggling with it right now. This time, try it with Harville. Deflected at the net. Nice set by Chapman to keep it alive. And Marauders, miraculously, let's see if they got that back over. Beautiful play. That looked like one that was eventually just going to be a great initial strike, and I didn't think anyone else would get to the ball. It was Allie Fleming that originally got to it. Somehow saved it for the teammate. Great play. It was Coleman that eventually got it over and winning that long rally, especially after that point. Huge momentum booster for the Marauders. They now lead 11-9. And again, anytime you win a point like that, a lot of momentum that goes with it. Harville chooses to set that one deep. Tried to drop it. Goodwin's there. Now Harville. It's over to Chapman. This time tries to drop it. And it caught the Marauders hesitating at the net. Originally went up for the block. Tried to get back, and tough play on the ball by then. And a point for the Big Reds. Trombley will serve. Big Reds only down one, so despite and unable to control that serve, Jabara, and we're all tied up at 11. And that's the thing you got to say about the Big Reds. Even when they're slightly off their mark, like mishitting balls at the net, they're still fundamentally sound, and you know it's eventually going to come back, and it came back right there with Chapman. Nice big play at the net. Give the Big Reds the lead. 12-11. Game 2. That serve long. Well, tied up at 12. And we'll go back to Allie Fleming. A slight pause and now they'll let him play. Wright's first one to that, then Goodwin. And tough strike, a little out of position. Was Aaron's. Dorr to Goodwin, and then Harville going up for the strike, and that one going long. That goes to what I was saying earlier. Big Reds may be off on some of their shots at the net, but always play fundamentally sound volleyball. Really got to give a lot of got to give a lot of credit to Megan Mitchell for that. See a lot of these teams just Every play looks like a broken play. Pretty much every time we see the Big Reds with a nice setup at the net, trying to play the way they should. Just like we do there. Nice play for Aarons. And gonna miss it there. On a two-hit violation. Now score 15-13. Marauders still lead. We'll go to freshman Peyton Frazier. Set over. Nice play by Dorr. Again, another nice set at the net. And that one powered down by Goodwin. Off to the set by Harville. That one, 3 strikes, never made it over. Big Reds back within 1. Frazier will serve. That one deflected the net. Aarons and Harville were there. Came down with them though. Point for the Marauders. Nicole Holliba now. Broken play. Big Red survive. Set up a nice play for the Marauders, but had to reach back trying to strike that one. Was Madison Monroe. There was a little opposition to try to make that strike. And it sails long. We'll give the Big Reds back to serve. And we'll go to Harville. With the Marauders leading 16-15. Harville, Gregosevich, far side to Goodwin. One poked over. Goodwin, Harville, back to Gregosevich. And miscommunication there. And right between Fleming and Burnell. Monet, excuse me. And we're all tied up at 16. Changing her spot where she wants to serve. Marauders didn't exactly strike that one exactly how they wanted to. Trying to save it at the net was Taylor. Unable to get enough on it. Big Reds regain the lead, 17-16. That one out of bounds. This time on the sideline. Trying to paint that sideline corner. So back to 17 apiece. We'll bring in Laura Pryor. Right, Harville sets up Aarons right up the middle. Deflected at the net by the Marauders. And unable to get that one off the ground. Nice play by Aarons. Now Sabrina Wright serving. This one just poked over, and call was out of bounds. Marauders had the right idea with that play. And we'll have a timeout for Warren Mott. So now the Big Reds starting to pull away when it matters. As we see Coach Megan Mitchell there. Big Reds up 19-17 after dropping game number 1. Seems to be in a much more enthused huddle right now. See the Big Red fans coming out for tonight's matchup. The Big Red's playing right at the right time. Looking much more in sync now, and got a good server back there in Sabrina Wright, and they do control the ball. And out of the timeout, always tough. Sometimes messes up your rhythm and sends that one long. Now with a 1-point lead, Tatiana Williams for the Marauders. After the timeout, 2 quick points for the Marauders and back to tied at 19. Violation there, I believe, on the serve. Or they're discussing it right now. We might have a short stoppage as we discuss things. Nothing's been put up on the board, but it was waved off right after they struck the ball. Tatiana Williams, the server. And see the explanation that we get right now. I believe either way, it's going to be a point for the Big Reds, which will push them to a 20-19 lead. Just trying to get it all right on the books. Or I think actually it's going to go back to them. I think they believe it was some kind of rotation problem, and then officials realized all was good, so it will stay with the Marauders. At 19, that one bounced off the rough. It's going to be a tough play for the Big Reds. You have to get it over. Going up strong and off the deflection. Somehow still able to get to that was Frazier. That's a great play for the Big Reds. Battling for it at the net. They had a whistle. And I think they called over the net on the Marauders, and we're having some disagreement between both officials today. And now the coaches are upset. And the official up top is having some disagreements with the official on the floor. Called over the net. And Marauder coach definitely upset right now. Other official on the floor didn't seem to agree with the call, but always tough to have split officials here. And being on the net, he's really the one in charge. A couple calls now that they're gonna wave that one off. It's gonna be a point for the Big Reds, 20-19. That was a missed strike. And Warren Mott so upset over the call. Can't let it trickle into their play now, especially if they want to stay alive in this game. 21-19, Big Reds lead. One poked over, plenty of time for the Big Reds to set it up. Goodwin strikes from the back row. Fleming plays it. One punched over, nice set by Goodwin. Wasn't that one. Harville was set to get it over. Coming up once again to strike it big and inbounds. And you understand why this sophomore is on the team. Really go up there and strike the ball at the net. Not the tallest player, but knows how to play the net very well. Mariah Taylor. Big Reds lead 21-20. Serve now back to Warren Mott. Jabara with the serve. So still anyone's game. That one set over, deflected by the Marauders. And point for the Big Reds. They'll have Dorr coming in to serve. And served by Dorr. Marauders gonna have to play this one from far back. Meanwhile, the Big Reds set up Chapman, but that one goes long. Having a hard time taking advantage of their opportunities. Had their opportunities to put this game away and just unfortunately haven't been able to hit them. Harville, Goodwin, back to Harville. This one touched over and nice play by the Big Reds. 23-21, 2 points away from taking game two and tying up the game score at 1 apiece. And now we'll have a timeout for the Marauders. And I still think Marauders have gotten a little bit into their head about the calls on the court. Definitely have those still in the back of their head as we see the head coach there. AC McLennan. And upset of those calls, and if you let it trickle over into how you're playing, can definitely affect you. Got to accept, you know, might have been a bad call, but got to play on. Can't let it affect the rest of how the game's going to be. So now the Big Reds, they control the serve with Trombley. 2 points away from taking game 2. Tying it all up to one apiece. Dropped the short serve in nicely. Trying to get there was Fleming. And 24-21, Trombley trying to serve to take game 2. And misstruck, and Fleming somehow gets it over, and then miscommunication on the Big Red side. I don't think they thought that ball was coming back. And it is a win by 2. Big Red's still a game point for them. But the Marauders not that far from pushing this one back, and that one deflected at the net. Going up was Ahrens and Harville. 24-23 Big Reds. This would be their last game point if they don't win it. Then it's going to become to a win by 2 scenario. Huge point here. Definitely a turning point in this match. Definitely in game 2. Be a huge loss for the Big Reds if they end up dropping this game. One tapped over and now tied at 24. And the bench is erupting for the Marauders. So now it'll be win by 2. And definitely hearing all the Warren Mott fans coming out for it today. Nice play keeping that one alive by the Big Reds. It was sloppy, but they got the job done. Got plenty of time to set up this one here with Ahrens. Good job keeping that one alive after the play at the net was Monroe. And this set there, nice recovery by Warren Mott. Nice long rally. It's got to be a good point after going tie. And that's definitely what they're delivering. Trying to set up Ahrens again and powers it down 25-24. So the Big Reds will regain serve and have earned themselves another game point. So they will sub in the freshman Peyton Frazier. So game point for the Big Reds. Tried to drop it short. Great play by Dorr to get to that one. Up front. And huge block at the net. Send it back, and celebrating now on the Big Red sideline as that they take game 2, 26-24. Great job holding on to that one. That's a big strike from the Marauders. We'll be back with game 3 in just a moment on CPHS 6. Back for game 3 of tonight's matchup between the Port Huron High Big Reds and the visiting Warren Mott Marauders. And what a game we had game 2. The Marauders charging back late. But the Big Reds hold on to win it 26-24. Huge win for the Big Reds. And now looking to continue on that game 2 win. Game score all tied up at 1. Again, Carl Stafford's your CPHS 6. And Big Reds send that one sailing. Good win on the strike and got this gym really going in between those 2 games. We actually had Let's Go Mott chants going on, and then Big Reds couldn't have that going on, so you get a Let's Go Big Reds chant going on. So both teams really showing out. That one rolling along the nets, and that going up, and Ahrens. A nice play to power that one down. A little touch at the net. So 2-1, Big Reds lead. Harville now back to serve. Now one struck off the side of her hand until she's upset about that hit. And so all tied at 2. Tatiana Williams, a miscommunication there. And it goes right back the other way. They're gonna have to get this one over. Unable to do so. Point for the Big Reds. They lead 3-2. Sabrina Wright will serve. And some line drive serves all day. That one had a lot more loft on it than the other ones. Harville punches that one up. Grega Savage. Now Goodwin goes up, deflected at the net. Nice play. Huge block. Cherish Coleman at the net for the Marauders. Goodwin sets that one over. I don't know if that one would have went over, but out of bounds. And just rolled over the net, enough for Madeline Trombley to put it back. That tough return from Marauders. This one a lot more. The line drive and a beautiful set. And dropped it right in on him. That's Kozma. Again, a violation on the Marauders, though, and it will back to the Big Reds, 4-3. Dropped it, went short. Great job getting back, Grega Savage. Sabrina Wright trying to dig that one up. A lot of power on it, and eventually will float out of bounds. Jabera now serving. Big Reds lead 4-3 here in game 2. Game 3. Actually make that 5-4. Score gets updated. Big Reds still up. Savage goes up, plays that one off the net, get it over. Right with the set, now Harville. Goodwin's gonna go up and inbounds in the back corner, no one there. Nice strike by Goodwin. Sub Chapman in. As Goodwin heads back to serve. Nicely set up play by the Marauders. And untouched by the Big Reds. That one's sent. They're trying to say there's some contact. But the Big Reds didn't touch it. 7-4. They now lead. Goodwin with the set. Grega Savage goes back to help. And punched up by the Marauders. They're going to have to send this one over. Coleman, nice job with the scramble. Trombley tries to punch that one to the back corner. Little off the mark, and point for Warren Mott. Loretta Kozma. Harville comes to get it, now Goodwin. Chapman sets it over. Plenty of time for the Big Reds to set up. Got that one to Chapman a little farther away from the net. Tried to set it nice and close. And Grega Savage just misread that one as she rolls to get back up. Didn't get the right read on that ball. And a point for the Marauders. Big Reds still lead by 1, 7-6. Chapman goes up, and it actually struck the head of Jabera. Don't think she wanted any piece of that. Tried to duck underneath it, but unfortunately it came in contact with her. And that's a point for the Big Reds. Chapman again Looks like that one was probably going to head a little bit long. Dorr now with the serve. Set over, Goodwin, Harville. Now Chapman. This time touched by the Marauders. Cosmo's there. And another point. Big Red's up 9-6 now. Yeah, another stop at the scoring table, and they have a lot of breaks in tonight's matchup. And it was one of the coaches from Warren Mott, I believe one of the assistant coaches who was pointing something out to the official. I'm not sure what that was. Now serve off the net, not touched by anyone. An ace for Dorr. Nice serve, now leading 10-6. Another nice low hard serve. They get tough, and then with the set, the recover, eventually played over by Harville. Hullaba, and then trying to go down was Dorr. Wow, great strike at the net by Hullaba. For Warren Mott. And we'll set that one over, and inbounds. Tripping as he was backpedaling was Chibera. Didn't want to play that one, thought it was going to go out of bounds, and we'll say contact now. And they're going to take that, and it's going to be a back to point for Warren Mott. Chapman ran out of room for that strike, led her a little bit too far. Coming back are the Marauders, only down one. Big Reds lead 10-9. Gotta get this one over. Dorr does. And double hit violation. Sends it back to Trombley, 11-9. And into the net. Marauders unable to get that one out. Back to Trombley. Dorr plays that one and kind of read up on her arms. Tough play. Point for Warren Mott. Big Reds still lead 12-10. Again, the game score at 1 apiece now. Big Reds lose, or Marauders taking the first one 25-18. Big Reds winning a very close game 2, 26-24. And now trying to extend their lead in game 3, up 13-10. And Frazier, and that one actually bouncing right pretty much to our camera. Well, that one's out of bounds. You see the scoreboard there, 14-10. Big Reds lead. Again, they have the freshman Peyton Frazier serving. That one just barely out. Again, powered down by the sophomore Taylor. Not so many sophomores with the ability she really has. And great dig. Keep that one alive as Goodwin tried to power that one down. That was Fleming. The dig. Aarons and Goodwin a little off the mark. Aaron's eventually the one sending it over, and once again it was Taylor trying to power that one down. And it goes wide. Big Reds now lead 16-10, starting to run away with this one and starting to play a lot more like the Big Red team we're used to seeing in the past few games, especially battling through that adversity in game 2 after Warren Mott started to come back. There's the Mott side that really got a chant going. Pretty impressive for a visiting team at a volleyball game in between the matches. But the Big Red responded. Big Reds responded with a good chant of their own. Pretty much saying, not in our gym. Now the Lady Big Reds trying to do the same thing on the court, but with their play. Up 16-10. Out of the timeout. Deflected at the net, going up to block it was Madison Monroe. Tatiana Williams also in there. Nice strike by Goodwin. Frazier, 17-10. Short, and it's gonna, Big Red's plenty of time to set up. Door to Harville to Aaron, deflected at the net. And nice play by Tatiana Williams. Recovering from that play and got a nice little set. Big Reds weren't expecting it. And stops the run. That one off the net. Good job by Dorr, still getting there. Goodwin sets that one over. Williams was right there waiting to put it back. Nice point by the Big Reds, well deserved, 18-11. Harville's back. Once again to the sophomore, takes a little touch on it this time. And drops it over for a nice point. And Big Reds committed at the net. Nice play to take a little off that one. Now Williams back serving. Savage put back immediately by Coleman. The Reds get another shot, and this time able to power it through is Goodwin. 19-12. Now we see Sabrina Wright. Nice set, and didn't really get the spike that they wanted at the net, but they will this time. This one sent long. Another miss hit for Warren Mott. Another point for the Big Reds. 20-12 here in game number 3. That one almost played a little bit too far. Trying to dig it out of the net was Kozma. Right on the other side, putting pressure was Trombley. Wright trying to keep it going. And they have to set this one over. They do to keep it alive. Plenty of time to set up Harville. Dragasevich and struck that one a little awkwardly, falling back, and tough strike. Yeah, it'll be a point for the Marauders. Big Red still lead 21-13. Opened up a big lead in this one. Now only 4 points away from taking game number 3. Definitely a whole different team than the Big Reds than we've seen in game 1. And even the team that struggled a little bit in game 2, playing a lot better now. Just communicating better, and that one's out of bounds. Pretty much lands right on the official there. Send Goodwin back to serve. Well, a timeout. As there we see the happy huddle. 22-13. Big Reds trying to take game number 3. short huddle for the Big Reds, doing a lot of things right now, so not really much to talk about. Just keep on doing what they're doing. As they'll have Goodwin to serve. A lot more intense discussions there in the Marauders huddle as they eventually break it up. See Kaya Taylor sub in for the Big Reds. First time we've seen her today. Served by Goodwin. Immediately called upon. Taylor with a nice strike. Sabrina Wright from the back row had topspin on it, but went wide. So a point for the Marauders. And Cosmo will serve. Played a little bit too long by Taylor. The Marauders trying to chip away at this lead Big Reds have created. Nice job going ahead to play that. Chapman. And a huge block. And it was Dragasevich and Taylor right in the middle of that one. And now Dora will come in. As the Big Reds lead 23-15, 2 points away from taking game 2. Low serve in the net. We'll send it right back to Warren Mott. I'll give it to Allie Fleming. Played by Wright and Goodwin. Up to Chapman. Deflected at the net. And we're getting a line foul. Yeah, it's going to be a point for the Big Reds. It's going to make it 24-16. So game point as Trombley will come in to serve to take game 3. And miscommunication, and it will fall down for an ace, and that's a way to end game 3. The Big Reds win 25-16, and now we're up 2-1 in the game score. We're back for game 4 in just a moment here on CPHS 6. Back for what could be decisive game 4. Tonight's matchup between the Port Huron High Big Reds and the visiting Warren Mott Marauders. Big Reds had to respond after a big game in game 2. Winning that one 26-24. Responded well in game number 3. A big 25-16 win. And are looking like the team with by far the most confidence right now. Nothing but confidence in between the last matchup. First point for the Marauders as we get game 4 underway. Really looking like what we thought all along. The Reds kind of killed themselves in game 1 with all the unforced errors. Goodwin going up for this one. Powers it down. Attempt to play that one was Fleming. Our hand on it, but then sailed out of bounds. So all tied up at 1 apiece as Alyssa Harville will serve for the Big Reds. And backpedaling and tough to play that one was Hullaba. Big Reds now with a 2-1 lead. And again, you just can't respond better than how the Big Reds did in game number 3. Dragasevich going up for that one and strike into the net. Point for the Marauders, all tied up at 2 apiece. As Pryor will serve. That serve is long. Send it right back to the Big Reds. They lead 3-2. Wright with a nice low serve. Tough play for the Marauders. You're going to have to set this one over. Plenty of time again for the Big Reds to set up. And Goodwin going up to strike that one, and just kind of sent right back by the net. Tough break, and tied up at 3 apiece. Tatiana Williams now serving. That serve short till it hit off the side of her hand. So quick point for the Big Reds. Now be Goodwin's serve. They lead 4-3. Score hasn't been updated yet. There it is now. Backpedaling, Marauders once again scrambling. Right to Goodwin. Trombley sets it over. Nice setup on the Warren Mott sideline, and once again it was Taylor. She's been a little off target lately. The Reds lead 5-3. Played up pretty far. Good win. Good job coming in. Play that ball off Coleman. Taylor, great set by Harville. And Goodwin, and an illegal hit violation, and it's going to be a point for the Marauders. And it's going to be on Taylor. They're a little upset with the call. 6-3 Big Reds, and Goodwin with a nice low serve. Splitting the front and the back line. And right away we'll have a timeout for Warren Mott. It's off to a rough start here in game number 4. Big Reds lead 7-3. Yeah, I think just trying to, once again, keep the emotions in check. I'm talking about the illegal hit right now. At least it looks that way from the Marauders. Talking to Taylor. Yeah, and I think a good timeout, talked about it earlier. Just, frustrated players on the court. They don't always play their best. They're thinking about that last call in their head when they shouldn't be. And might have a little bit of delay after the timeout was even done, because now the officials are going to be talking. Brief conversation, just make sure everything's in check. Looks like everything's good. So we'll get going again. Back with Goodwin serving. Punching over was Coleman. Back to the Big Reds. It's kind of up in the air. And Taylor just kind of punched it over. Caught the Big Reds out of position. Smiling on the play, not really exactly what she intended for. She was just trying to play a ball over. Ended up being a good strike. Javera now serving. Marauders down 3. And Chapman now getting on a little bit of a roll. Good strike on that one. As Dorr will sub in. And she'll serve with a 8-4 lead. And that serves short into the net. Pretty uncommon for her. She's very solid at when she is serving. Trying to keep those low, though, and at the risk of them being at the net. That one punched over. The Marauders Good job playing that one out of the net. Is Coleman. Eventually a point for Warren Mott, only down 2 now with Kozma serving. Brandon Wright comes up to play it and just popped it over the net, made an easy play for the Marauders. Power it back down. Not much the Big Reds could do really on defense there. Put it a little bit too far ahead of her. They wanted to. Nice set by Goodwin. Set it up to Chapman. That one goes long. Again, still struggling a little bit at the net tonight. We've seen some good strikes, but she's been off a little bit. And Goodwin taking it to her own hands this time. Trying to catch him off guard. Nice set for the point. And they regain the lead 9-8. Trombley serving. Dorr plays that one. Up to Chapman, punches it over. Plenty of time for the Big Red setup. And Ahrens, after being set up by Goodwin and then Harville. Ahrens with the point at the net, now leading 10-8. Talk to the coach now for Warren Mott. Talking to some of the players. I believe they were talking about Allie Fleming. What they were talking about, substitutions or what the case may be. Goodwin pops it up, someone's got to come back. Harville does, and Chapman's the one that plays it over. Deflected at the net, that makes it a tough play. Diving for it was Trombley. So now Fleming. Played by Dorr. And then put down by Harville. Makes it the 11-9, game number 4. Again, the Big Reds up 2-0 after losing the first game. Have won 2 straight, 26-24 and 25-16. Leading in this one 11-9. So Brenna Wright tried to play that one, didn't have a good angle on it, and struck that one, ended up towards the back of the gym. Point for Warren Mott. Right, another tough strike. Dorr's there to help her out. Then Goodwin. The Reds scrambling to get it back over. Huge block of the net by Ahrens. And put down after it just trickled over the net by Madison Monroe. All tied at 11 now. And we'll call in one of the line judges. Typically these are JV players or what they get for the line calls. So all tied at 11. That serve is long. Will break the run for the Marauders. Send it back to PH. And Harville will serve up 12-11. That one mishit by the Marauders. By Madison Monroe. Trying to extend this lead. And again, a point for a 2-hit violation on Warren Mott. Make it 14-11 Big Reds. Tried to set that one to the back corner, out of bounds. Nice try by Taylor. But we'll keep Harville serving. Up 4, 15-11. 10 points away from victory. Big block at the net. Dragisevich and Aaron's right in on it. And miscommunication between Wright and Frazier. I don't know if either of them would have been able to get to that ball. Nice play by Warren Mott. I'll bring in Pryor to serve. Dragisevich mishits. Harville helped bail her out. Able to keep it alive. And going up strong once again, sophomore Taylor. This time able to power it down. Marauders trying to chip away at the lead. Now only down 2. Big Reds lead 15-13. Dragisevich. That one tapped over once again by Taylor. Showing some finesse this time. Now the lead is only 1. That serve is long, so that will help the Big Reds as they get the point, and serve will go back to them, and then we'll go back to Sabrina Wright. Another line drive one, and might have gone out of bounds. Tatiana Williams played it, and then Dragisevich just mishits a set at the net. Officially, it's going to be called double hit. Played it again after that, but she knew she mishit that one. Now Williams will serve. Big Reds still up 1, mishit on the serve, and that's the second time we've seen kind of big, somewhat big miss by Williams. She's trying to get really on top of that ball, trying to get more topspin on it. And really going up to get that one. Again, Taylor unable to get it over the net. 18-15, Big Reds lead. Good move with the serve. Tried to drop it. Goodwin's there to back up the front row. Goodwin sets that one back. Plenty of time to get it to Taylor, who's able to power it down. Deflecting at the net was Trombley, who came down with her. So unable to really pull away, but still maintaining the lead. Big Reds up 18-16. Chapman going up. That one actually blocked and that sent back by Kozma. Deflected by Big Reds. And Dragisevich unable to get that one over. Jabara, see the score there, 18-17. Big Reds with the 1-point lead. Nice set by Goodwin, try to catch him by surprise. The recovery though, able to power that one down. Halaba for the Marauders, and we're all tied up at 18 apiece. Game number 4. Again, this would be a decisive game for the Big Reds. It would give them the victory. It would force a game 5 if the Marauders were to win. That one blocked the net, but came down on their own side. Tried to block it at the net. I'll bring Dorr back to serve. We're putting a little more loft on that serve. A couple play short at the net. Not sure if that one ever made it over. It was if Trombley got her hands on her or not. Nice set over by Chapman. And then struggling to recover was Coleman. The Reds extend the lead to 2, 20-18. 5 points away from taking this match. A serve by Dorr. Dorr to Goodwin. Left for Trombley coming right up the middle. Miss hit, and that one will go long. Point back for the Marauders. Keeping this one close, going back and forth. Kozma. Will be another game like game 2. We'll push to extra points as both teams exchanging points back and forth. Both teams really feel the pressure now, you can tell. Big Reds still seem to be the one in control. Chapman able to power that one down. Fleming went down to get that one, and she's still down. Over there, try to help her get off the court. Hopefully she's okay, already wearing a knee brace. So Fleming will sit on the bench and be looked over by the Port Huron High trainer. Hopefully she's all right. Obviously volleyball, very tough on your body, especially diving around on the wood floors. I have a little bit of pause in the gameplay while they make sure she's all right, situated on the bench, and as a trainer there to look over, hope she's all right. 21-19. Game continues on. Big Reds are going to have to play this one over. They do. Harville sends it right back. Ahrens. Harville to Chapman. And Kozma with that, and eventually powered over. That's Haliba again. 21-20. Big Reds lead by 1. Cherish Coleman now to serve. And you wonder how much the Marauders are going to miss Fleming. She's been out there pretty much the entire game. That one goes wide. We're tied at 21. Again at the scorer's table. Have not changed the score on the scoreboard yet. I believe they're going over. Now we'll see both coaches come over. Now the scoreboard reflects how it should, 21-21. And you're going to give the signal for Coleman to serve, so all tied up. Chapman sets it over. Marauders, Haliba never made it over. Point for the Big Reds, 22-21. Peyton Frazier will come in to serve. So again, a victory in this game would be the match for the Big Reds. For the Marauders, it would force a game 5 and be up to 15 points. Miscommunication somehow struck that even in the direction of the net. But out of bounds, we'll have a timeout for the Marauders. 23-21, Big Reds, 2 points away. We'll see Coach Megan Mitchell again. Only 3 seniors on this Big Red team. They're important ones, and Gregasevich, Dorr, and Ahrens. But it's going to be a team that she's going to have some talent for a while now. Talked about it in some of the early matches. One of the shorter teams around. But definitely make up for it with how they play, their athleticism, and I don't believe that serve was ever whistled to go, so I think we'll replay that. Visual kind of signaling my bad. So we'll just reset to do that one. Frazier with the serve. That one struck long. And 24-21. Big Reds now 1 point away from taking the match. And tough play at the net. Aarons and Harville were there. This is how game 2 was. Marauders with a late push. They actually forced it to extra points because it is win by 2. Have to score a couple straight though. I don't think the Big Reds are going to let that happen this time. Goodwin's not. That went off the ceiling, and that's going to be a point for the Big Reds. Can't be off the ceiling and go over, so the Big Reds will win that game 25-22 and end up winning the match 3-1 after losing the first 25-18. Next game score 26-24, 25-16, and 25-22. We'd like to thank you all for joining us here on CPHS 6. Big Reds win over the Warren Mott Marauders. Thank you for joining us here on CPHS 6. Good night.